They called me the Duke. For more than 40 years, I rode across the silver screen through dusty trails, gunfights, and endless skies. I always believed a man should stand tall, speak the truth, and never back down from what's right. As I once said, courage is being scared to death and saddling up anyway. Tomorrow hopes that we have learned something from yesterday. This is John Wayne, and partner, I'll see you down the trail.
They say I was tough, cynical, and sharp, but I was also a romantic at heart. On the silver screen, I walked through shadows, smoky bars, and lonely streets. In Casablanca, I said the words that would outlive me. Here's looking at you, kid. And I always believed. The problem with the world is that everyone is a few drinks behind. This is Humphrey Bogart, the voice of a classic Hollywood that will never fade.
They call me the King of Hollywood. For decades, I carried myself with charm, wit, and a smile that defined an era. In Gone with the Wind, I spoke the line that became immortal. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. I believe the true gentleman should live with style, laugh often, and love deeply. This is Clark Gable, a voice from the golden age that still lingers in the hearts of those who remember.
I was often the ordinary man caught in extraordinary times. In It's a Wonderful Life, I learned that one person's kindness could touch countless others. Every man's life touches so many other lives. And when he isn't around, he leaves an awful hole, doesn't he? I believed it's not how much we have, but how much we enjoy. That makes happiness. This is James Stewart, reminding you that life in all its simplicity is truly wonderful.
On screen, I danced through danger, whispered through romance, and laughed through life with charm and wit. People often said they wanted to be Cary Grant. The truth is, so did I. Everyone wants to be Cary Grant. Even I want to be Cary Grant. I wasn't born into elegance. I built it. I pretended to be someone better until, at last, I became him. Or perhaps he became me. What I discovered is this. Reinvention is the greatest art of all. You can shape your life, your character, even your destiny with courage, humor, and style. This is Cary Grant, reminding you that elegance, laughter, and kindness never go out of style, and neither do the dreams that make us who we are.
They called me a man of epics, and perhaps I was. I stood at the parted Red Sea as Moses, and I raced the chariots of Rome as Ben-Hur. In those moments, I was larger than life. Yet I knew it was faith and courage that truly carried the story. I believe that a man should stand firm, no matter the storm, because freedom and truth are always worth the fight. As I once said, political freedom is the rarest prize in history, and those who have it must guard it with their lives. This is Charlton Heston, reminding you that strength comes not from the sword or the chariot, but from the spirit that dares to believe.
They remember me best as Atticus Finch, a father, a lawyer, and a man who believed in justice, even when the world turned away. In To Kill a Mockingbird, I said, you never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view, until you climb inside his skin and walk around in it. That lesson stayed with me, on screen and off. I believe that dignity, compassion, and moral courage were the greatest strengths a man could carry. I once said, tough times don't last. Tough people do. And I meant it. This is Gregory Peck, reminding you that justice and kindness are never out of fashion, and that one voice of conscience can change the world.
They called me Spartacus, but I was also a man who believed in fighting for something greater than myself. On that screen, when I stood and declared, I am Spartacus, it was more than a line. It was a cry for freedom, for dignity, for every man's right to stand tall. My life was not without struggle. I knew pain, setbacks, and battles of my own. But I always believed you haven't learned how to live until you've learned how to give. This is Kirk Douglas, reminding you that true strength isn't in the sword you hold, but in the heart that refuses to yield.
They remember me standing on that beach and From Here to Eternity, the waves crashing, a stolen kiss that became one of Hollywood's most unforgettable moments. But I was more than a kiss in the surf. I was a fighter, a dreamer, a man who believed that passion should burn brightly on screen and in life. I once said, I walk fast, I talk fast, and I think fast. I need to live fast. And maybe that's why my heart was always chasing bigger stories, deeper truths. This is Burt Lancaster, reminding you that love, courage, and the fire of living with everything you have are what make life eternal.
They remember me as Holly Golightly, gazing into the windows of Tiffany's with hope in my heart. In Breakfast at Tiffany's, I whispered a truth that still lingers. People do fall in love. People do belong to each other. But beyond the screen, I believed in another kind of beauty, the kind that comes from kindness, compassion, and giving of yourself to others. I once said, the most important thing is to enjoy your life, to be happy. It's all that matters. This is Audrey Hepburn, reminding you that true elegance is not in what you wear, but in the love and light you bring to the world.